What's going on, guys? Asian Guy here, bringing you a video to answer the world's problems, the world's mysteries, some of the most asked questions and demanded answers from me in recent times. And this is stuff like, is Xiao good? Is Xiao worth pulling for? What is the best weapon on Xiao? What is the best team for Xiao? What is the best build for Xiao? Is Ganyu better than Xiao? How good is Ganyu? Can Ganyu be a support? Is Venti coming back? Is Zhongli coming back? All these questions I hope to answer in this video. So if you already know what the answers to these are, feel free to stay along and watch the video, but there's no obligation to watch my video at all, or any of my videos at all. But regardless, I hope you enjoy. So first things first, let's begin with the more obvious one. Is Ganyu good? Yes, she is arguably the best character in the game, maybe second to Venti, if not better than Venti. For me, personally speaking, I'm not a Ganyu shrimp. She is not one of my favorite characters in the game in terms of design. My top three: Zhongli, Xiao, and Dainsleif. And Dainsleif not out yet, but those three are my favorite characters. And no, for the immature people out there, I am not gay. I am just able to appreciate when the daddies are super, super hot. Alright, now that might sound sus to you, but they're badass, and that's what I like in these kind of gacha games. But Ganyu, for me, the damage is just ridiculous. She is the only character other than Zhongli who does not need an elemental reaction, does not need an elemental skill or an elemental burst. Zhongli needs an elemental burst that can deal over 30,000, if not over 40, 50, 60,000, depending on how refined your weapons are. Now, if you are using free-to-play weapons, if you are using the prototype Crescent, on Ganyu, she can very easily, at max level and only at level 6 talents, hit over 30,000 damage with her charged shot. Now, if you have 5-star weapons, this is going to go into the 40,000s. If you have constellations, this will go to up to like maybe 45,000. And the damage is just going to go up and up and up. And Ganyu is the only character in the game, guys, that does not need an elemental reaction. Diluc needs it, Char needs it, all these other characters need elemental reactions to do big PP damage. Ganyu just has the big PP by herself. So if you need a DPS character that does a lot of damage and you're happy to play with the sniper playstyle, then Ganyu is the character for you. However, having said that, guys, if you don't like the sniper playstyle, Ganyu is still insane because her elemental skill and her ultimate are still really, really good, even in supportive capabilities, if not just main DPS capabilities as well. And when I say this, what I'm saying is Ganyu is an all-rounder. She can basically do anything from DPS, main DPS, support DPS, or just flat-out support as well. And there are so many different ways you can build her. Favonius Warbow is a perfectly fine weapon for her as a supportive DPS or as a support. Prototype Crescent is very good for her as a main DPS. And then if you have Stringless, support DPS is really, really good for Ganyu as well. But the main thing here, guys, is that she does a lot of damage, and she does not need a setup like, for example, Diluc or Klee. These people need like melt compositions or vaporized compositions to get the biggest PP damage out of them, but Ganyu does not need any of that, which is why she is so freaking insane. Having said that though, guys, Xiao, I have my expectations that when he comes out, he too will also have big PP damage, and obviously Swirl is not really a reaction that gives you a lot of bonus damage. So I think his raw damage, Xiao is going to have insane raw damage. But having said that, it's Cryo versus Anemo. Cryo is good at breaking Hydro Shields. It's also very good at breaking Electro Shields, which is really good for endgame content, namely for 2E stages in the Spiral Abyss. Anemo, on the flip side, is okay at breaking shields, but it's not the best. But in terms of AoE, both Xiao and Ganyu, looking at their gameplay, have really big AoE. I would say Ganyu's AoE is pretty much rivaled only by Albedo at the moment, and maybe Venti, and maybe Zhongli. Those four have a lot of AoE. But Xiao, I think Xiao is going to need some support, guys. He is a selfish DPS. If I was to compare him to any character in the game, he's very, very, very similar to Razor. The ultimate is going to buff their normal standard of attacking and the normal playstyle to give them big PP damage. And as you guys know, Razor, when he's ultimating or when he's using his ultimate, does a lot of damage. I think Xiao is going to take that to the next level. I think he is potentially going to have the best DPS in the game. In terms of numbers, Ganyu, you got Mona, you've got Bennett, you've got Diluc, all of Klee, all these big PP numbers coming from there. But in terms of actual damage per second and how much damage they can output in the space of maybe 10 seconds, I would say that Xiao is probably, without relying on any other characters, going to be up there alongside with Ganyu. Now, that is only a prediction, and this is going off, you know, having 5-star weapons or good weapons. If you want good weapons for these characters, I highly recommend going to the Star Glitter shop and then buying one of these crit damage weapons, because they are very good 4-star weapons. All of these Blackcliff weapons, if you go into the information button, have crit damage substat, and when Xiao is crit rate up, then, you know, Blackcliff Pole is probably going to be a very, very good weapon on Xiao, and it also looks pretty damn cool as well. So there's a lot of stuff to take into consideration. Is Xiao good? Yes, of course he's going to be good. Every 5-star, guys, is good. Every 5-star in this game, contrary to popular belief, or rather not popular belief, but a vocal minority's belief, every 5-star character in the game is good. Almost every character in the game can be made to be pretty darn good. Some more so than others. For example, Ganyu is obviously better than Amber, but Amber with the correct setup can also do good damage and be played well as well. There are no bad characters in the game, only bad players, and I will reiterate that point over and over and over again. Now, having said that, guys, one of the things I've been seeing a lot is Ganyu worth pulling for? Is Xiao worth pulling for? And is it worth waiting for Ayaka? Is it worth waiting for Hu Tao? The ultimate answer to this, guys, is no content creator can really tell you, including myself, because if I was to give you an analogy, let's say Ganyu is a pizza that's already cooked and delivered to your home. Well, those other characters are still pizzas in the oven. They're not completed products yet, they're not done, they're not ready to be shipped out yet, and we don't know for sure how good they're going to be, and it's going to be different for everyone. Maybe Xiao is a pepperoni pizza, and maybe Ganyu is a pineapple pizza, and I hate that analogy because I don't like pineapple pizzas, guys, and I love pepperoni pizzas, but I really like Ganyu. I really love her playstyle. I think she's one of the best characters in the game. And then Xiao, I think when he comes out, I'm gonna love him. I pretty much already decided that I want to go for Constellation 6. I really hope he comes early. 180 Intertwined Fate. Miracles can happen, guys, if you believe. 180 Intertwined Fate to get 7 Xiaos. I don't think it's gonna happen, but you know, here's to hoping. But yes, ultimately, we can't tell you, guys. We cannot tell you whether a character is going to be good for you, whether it's going to be bad for you, whether it's going to be good for the meta, A, B, C, X, Y, Z. We can't tell you any of these until the character themselves has actually come out. Because the ultimate thing, guys, doesn't really matter about the numbers. I've said this before, controversially, it's about the application. Because the most important part of the formula of whether a character is good or not is player skill and player enjoyment. And this is not something you can quantify mathematically. And I will keep saying this over and over and over again. You guys got to stop looking at the maths all the time and understand the importance of application, because the player skill can definitely change absolutely everything. And again, guys, if you're wondering if Venti, Child, Tartaglia, and Zhongli are ever going to come back, 100%. I guarantee you they will come back, guys. At some point, they will come back. And if we're looking at the schedule right now, it seems like, you know, because we have Keqing now, I would assume when Hu Tao comes out, they will probably throw in either Chi-Chi or Zhongli, because canonically speaking, they are tied together. So I would really not be surprised if they come out. Both of those characters are ideally meant to be played with Hu Tao as well. Hu Tao is going to have the highest HP in the game, even higher than Zhongli. You can probably build her up to have over 50, if not 60,000 HP. She will drain her own HP just like Xiao. However, Xiao is more of a glass cannon than Hu Tao, because Hu Tao has just that much HP. But you want to play with heals around her or shields around her, and that is going to be Hu Tao's playstyle, and which, you know, incidentally, Chi-Chi, Zhongli, they are all canonically tied together, really specifically to Hu Tao as well. Hu Tao does not, or rather Chi-Chi hates Hu Tao, and Hu Tao is Zhongli's boss in the workplace. You can play with both of those two supports with Hu Tao, so I would not be surprised at all if Zhongli is on that banner or will come alongside with Hu Tao as well. And then Chi-Chi is potentially there too. And then after that, where are we going to be? I don't know. Is it going to be Ayaka? Is it going to be Rosaria? Is it going to be Yao Yao? I don't know any of this stuff, guys. I don't work for MiHoYo. There's only speculation. And the other thing that seems to be the case, guys, is the weapons. The weapons are definitely power creeping. Hu Tao's spear is really good for Zhongli. It's really good for Hu Tao, because the HP spear in the passive with crit damage substat it's a lot of big PP damage for Zhongli and also for Hu Tao. So there's so many things coming this way. They are starting to spread things out, and the reason why I think they're doing this is so people can start saving up their Primo Gems, and then they can go whale out, and then they're drained to 0, and then bang! Out of nowhere, they're going to release something insane. Now, in gacha games, guys, from my experience for gacha games, what typically happens is, during the 1-year celebration, when it's the 1-year anniversary of the gacha game being released, which we're several months away from still, and when it's the half anniversary, some gacha games do a half anniversary. If anyone has played Honkai Impact, please let me know if MiHoYo has done half anniversaries, but there's typically a huge celebration where they have rate up banners with like boosted rate ups, and they have discount sales on Primo Gems and all this kind of stuff. I would not be surprised if out of nowhere they do this for the half anniversary. They re-release Venti, they re-release Klee, they re-release Chard, and they re-release Zhongli all at the same time. It would really not surprise me at all. So for those people who missed out on Venti and have regret for Venti, I would say Venti is going to be more valuable than Ganyu, more valuable than Hu Tao, more valuable than Xiao, and more valuable than, well, I'm not sure. With the buff Zhongli, he's pretty damn strong. I have seen a lot of people have complained that he's now too strong, if not stronger than Venti, and some people are saying he's situationally stronger than Venti, in which case, as you guys know, Venti is really good. He's really strong, arguably the best character in the game. So if all of those characters come out at the same time, that's how they're going to suck you in to spending money on the game. So you guys got to be real careful where you spend your Primo Gems, because then after that, then it's going to be like, boom, oh, here you go, there's Ayaka, and then boom, there's Raiden, and then you're going to be like, well, I have no Primo, I have no money left. And that's how they prey on the people with weak wills and get you to spend money. So be very careful, guys, of all the pizzas that are still in the oven waiting to be delivered to your house. You don't know what's coming around the corner. At the moment, we know Hu Tao is for sure coming, because Hu Tao's spear is already in the game, or it's going to be in the game. Zhongli is most definitely going to be coming around in like the next 3 months. And then Venti, Klee, and also Child, we don't know, but they're all very good characters. Is Xiao going to be better than them? Well, by the time Xiao comes out, we'll know for sure. What I can tell you is that Ganyu is already top tier. She is pretty much unrivaled in terms of non-reaction damage. If you want a character with really good non-reaction damage that can be an insane support, look no further than Ganyu. Now, as for Xiao, guys, I can't really go into the nitty gritty. Is Xiao going to be good? I'm going to say he's not going to be as good as Ganyu and Venti, if I had to guess. I could be completely wrong about that, but at Constellation 0, I do not see Xiao being anywhere near as good as Ganyu or Venti. And when I say that, it's because I put Ganyu and Venti really high up and separated from virtually everyone else in a league of their own. Is Xiao going to be as good as someone like Klee or Diluc or Child as a DPS? Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to be a selfish DPS that's going to do a lot of DPS and output of damage, and a lot of AoE damage at that as well. And I think he's going to be very fun to play. The free-to-play weapons out there, I would say Prototype Starglit is what you should be farming for, and then on top of that, you need to be farming for Prosperity, and then you want the Animo Cubes, or the Animo Cubes, or drops rather, for the Animo Chunks. On top of that, you are going to have to be farming the new Geo baby. I forgot its name. Geo, Sonic the Hedgehogs, whatever they're called, guys. They look like Monster Hunter monsters, but you're going to need to farm that boss to ascend Xiao as well. And then on top of that, I would say that for Xiao, he actually, by the looks of things, from what I've seen, he's probably going to want energy recharge, guys. So Prototype Starglitter does look to be the better option for the free-to-play spears. I don't think physical damage is going to be a thing on Xiao, unless you're going to be using him in co-op, and he's going to be the only character you can use in co-op, because Xiao will change with his ultimate. He will change all of his abilities to do animo damage. So physical damage is your white damage. If your damage numbers you see are colored, they are always going to be elemental damage. So Skyward weapons, for example, guys, Skyward Spine is an example I've been asked a lot about. The blades that come out of Skyward weapons, or any of the extra bonus white hits you get from Skyward weapons, those are physical damage. So in those instances, building physical damage could be useful, but I really don't advise going for physical damage on Xiao. For artifacts, you want to be doing, at the moment, what I'm doing is 2-piece Gladiator and 2-piece Anemo, so 2-piece Viridescent Venera. That's what I'm going to be going for Xiao, and then the 5th item can be anything with really good substats is ideally what you're looking for with Xiao. Is Constellation 1 better than going for Xiao Constellation 0? For me, I will always say no. I think it's always better to have more characters to play with than having one really juiced up character to play with. But I know that's personal preference. So for me, if you really like Ganyu, guys, I think a Constellation 1 is insane. I think it's one of the best constellations in the game. The other thing I would say be careful for, guys, is if you are a big Zhongli shrimp and you really like playing with Zhongli, Zhongli's Constellation 2 and Constellation 1 are both really good. Constellation 1 gives you an extra pillar, which is huge. It increases damage output as a supportive DPS by a lot. With the resonating damage, it allows you to generate way more shields as well. And the other thing is his Constellation 2 is a reset. Now, I've said this a few times, is that any constellations that give you some form of reset is OP. And the resets in this game that we have right now is Constellation 6 for Ganyu is a reset on her charge attack, which is insane. Constellation 6 for Child is a reset on his elemental skill, which is also insane. Constellation 6 for Xiao is looking to be a reset as well. But Zhongli's Constellation 2, and it's not Constellation 6, the reset for Zhongli comes in at Constellation 2, which is quite huge. Every time he ultimates, he gains a shield. And Zhongli's new shield will now reduce enemies' resistances as well. So do keep that one in mind. His shield is now super tanky as well. And it's also very good for co-op with that Constellation 2, because every time you ultimate, you're going to give all of your allies that shield as well. So C2 Zhongli is going to be one of the strongest characters in the game by far, if not the strongest C2 character in the game. And then the only other C2s I can really see rivaling that, because Xiao's Constellation 2 I believe is energy recharge, it doesn't look very promising, is probably Ganyu. Ganyu's Constellation 2 gives her another charge of her elemental skill. Constellation 1 on Xiao gives an elemental skill charge as well. The first two constellations for Tartaglia they're okay. I wouldn't say they're that great, but yeah, I would say constellations wise, maybe only Klee and Zhongli are probably in like a league of their own, and Ganyu as well for the first two constellations. Is Constellation 2 Zhongli better than having Zhongli Constellation 0, Ganyu Constellation 0, and Xiao Constellation 0? I don't think so, guys. I don't think so. I always think it's better to have more 5-star characters. But again, it depends how much of a simp you are for these certain characters. So yeah, hopefully that has answered every question. And yeah, hopefully that has been helpful for you guys. If you like Xiao, he's your husbando. If you like Zhongli, you like Hu Tao, you like Ganyu, whoever is your husbando, Ayaka, or your waifu, or your daughter, or your son, you should always pull for them, because that's what's going to make you the happiest. And the second thing that's going to make you the happiest is gameplay. So for me, Ganyu's gameplay is superb. I really enjoy it. And she is now one of my favorite characters to play with. But I think Xiao is going to take that spot and be my favorite character to play with overall, even surpassing Zhongli as well. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.